everybody, and welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. Today I thought we'd work on a cute little spring craft, and so let's just get started with that. So I have a friend named Martha who gave me this calendar, and so I looked through it and I found a page that I wanted to use, this cute one with all the purple flowers all over it. It has a whole bunch of different ones like that in here. It's from Easter seals, and so I was going to just use this picture, and I'll show you what we're going to do with it. So I also had bought this at Target like around the fall because it was marked down because it's upside down. That's why it was marked down. It wasn't because it was the end of the season. And so I got it, it was regular $8. I got it for $2. I'm going to pull that tag off. Okay, so I thought the first thing we would do is I'm going to paint the frame a pretty yellow. So I'm going to start with this Deco Art Crafters acrylic paint. I'm trying to remember, I just picked it up. Where did I pick it up from? Walmart. I got it from Walmart. And we're going to start with that because I figured the yellow paint, then I want to do it around the sides here. I'm going to do that yellow. So I know I've showed you guys these. I always show them almost every time. They're $1 for 6 at the Dollar Tree. So we're going to just go ahead and paint the frame yellow. So I'm not sure what all you guys did for Easter, but I have a son that lives in California, so he's too far away to come home for, well, he could come home for Easter, but with the pandemic, we're waiting till everyone has their vaccines. So my other son lives here where we live, and so he came over for Easter. And honestly, I didn't make any real big Easter dinner because it was only going to be the 3 of us. So I made something that I knew he would like because he loves chicken parmesan. So I made chicken parmesan sliders. And they turned out awesome. And I'm going to put the video on so that you guys can see how to make them and try them out yourself. Okay, so I am going to go ahead on the inside, and I'm going to be a little messy about it because I want it to cover part of the wood part of this because my picture is just a tiny bit shy, like just a little bit short of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and go around the edges with the yellow. So it'll look a little messy, but it won't when we're all done. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. It looks kind of crazy and messy right now, but I'm going to set it to the side and let it dry, and we'll just move on to the next part. I didn't do the sides of it. The sides are kind of silvery, so I left them that way. Now, obviously, you might not have a sign like this, and so what you can do is either go to one of the stores, maybe a dollar store, and get a frame and pull the glass out of the frame and just use the back part. I mean, if you want it to look like this. So then you could just get a piece of wood that's 1 foot by 10 inches, and you can do the same thing. But if you want it to have the frame, you don't really need the frame, but you'll see I kind of want it to look like it's kind of coming out of the picture. I just thought I'd do it that way. I thought it would be cute. All right, so I'm going to put some of this paint back in here. And then I have water over here. I'm just going to stick my little sponge in the water. Okay, so the next thing we can do is, so I bought these little cute little houses. They're little bird houses, also from the Dollar Tree. And what we're going to do first is we're going to paint them all a different color. I'm going to make one of them purple because of the purple background, but this is a darker purple, so it should stand out. And then one of them green because I want it to match, and then one of them a deeper yellow because I want it all to come together in the end. So, okay, let's get started with that. Okay, I don't know what order we're going to do them in, but so they were each $1 at the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to go ahead and use that same sponge. Now, usually when I'm doing a craft with you guys, I've painted before, don't get me wrong, but I've not done this craft before. So the result is always going to be a surprise to me too. It's very rarely a craft where I've already done it. I mean, so it's going to be a surprise to me how this turns out too. I have an idea in mind, but that doesn't always mean that's how it's going to turn out. All right. So I know that I mentioned it in one of my comments before one of my videos, but I want to say thank you so much to every subscriber I have. I'm really, really, really grateful. I'm trying hard to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I've just started, and last month was awesome. 49 subscribers. Thank you guys. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I hope you keep enjoying everything. So I'm going to use this little bit darker yellow, though, I think, for this one. What we're going to do is do yellow inside, and then we're going to have a white top and a white bottom. So now this is Ceram Coat by Delta, and it's a little bit darker yellow. I didn't have a lot of this, and so I thought the frame, that's why I did the frame a different color, the lighter yellow. But this should be enough for just the one little birdhouse. And so I'm just going to go ahead around and paint the whole thing. And then I'll be back to talk with you guys again. Okay, so there's the yellow one. So I went ahead and I did the top part of this also, and then the underneath the roof. The other parts we'll get to later. I'm going to go ahead and do purple on this one and green on this one, the same exact way I did that one, but with the different colors. And then I'll meet you guys back here again. Okay, as you can see, it's okay to be a little bit messy on it. You'll see because of the way we're going to paint the rest of it. Okay, so there's the green one. We're going to let that dry, and I'm going to move on to the purple one. Okay, so here's our purple one. I'm going to set that to the side. And again, I'm going to go rinse this stuff out. And then I'll be back, and we're going to, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and go over my edge of my sign real quick again. I think I'll use the darker yellow since I think I have enough of that left. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our yellow frame. We'll go over it with the darker yellow, because now I think there's enough to do at least that. Now, all the paints that I'm using are acrylic paints, so you can get those at Michael's. I think Walmart has some of them. Hobby Lobby. Actually, the dollar store even has a little bit, but not very many colors. All right, so now I'm going to set that to the side again to dry. And now, let's see. So now I have another product over here. It's called Weathered Wood. And what you're supposed to do is we're going to go over the yellow, the green, and the purple with this weathered wood. So once I get the weathered wood on there, we're going to set our timer for 20 minutes because it takes 20 minutes for it to dry and where you can move on. So first we'll put it on, and then I'll be back with you guys again. Okay, so I made it all the way around on all of them. I believe it's pretty even everywhere. So I'm going to just set that to the side, let it dry. I was hoping I could do the frame right now too. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and rinse this just in case it has purple on it, and then we're going to go around the frame. Try this a little. Paper towels are sure a handy thing sometimes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put weathered It's called Weathered Wood, and it's by Deco Art. And you can get it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And we're going to go ahead and go around the frame. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, wash my sponge off again, then I'll show you the next part. So now I have this little Hello Spring sign, and it was from a place called My Crafty Beginnings, and I looked it up. I got onto Google, into the search bar, and I put down wood cutouts, and then I looked at the different sayings, or wood, you could even put wood sayings or wood cutout sayings, and it'll pop up. Or now, since you know, you can just put in My Crafty Beginnings. Now it's not real pricey, it's a decent price. I bought a couple different signs, and each one I bought was about $8.50. So this was $8.50. And then this is how it comes, because they don't want it to break. And so they tape the back, and they don't really completely, they don't send it completely separated. Like I'm going to have to separate it. So let's hope it comes apart nicely for me. This is the first time I've used their product. It looks really nice. I was really happy when I got them because they look really nice. So hopefully it'll come apart for me really nicely and we'll be okay with it. So you just pull all the tape off the back. Oh yeah, it's already kind of coming apart on me. Okay, and then I'm hoping it just pops out. It looks like it does. And so there we have our Hello Spring. That's so neat. I like how that worked. I like how they send it. It's so that it travels better. So that's neat. Okay, so this stuff's all just garbage. Put the side out of my way. All right, so now the Hello Spring. I was thinking I would paint it white. I'm hoping it's not going to be too much white, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint it white. So I'm going to grab my Americana white, and you can get this at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I think I'm going to set a couple napkins down. I know I always tell you guys to cover your table with something so that you don't get paint on your table. But you know, I'm getting more and more paint all over this tablecloth, and it's starting to look kind of yucky. So I thought I'd stick it on a paper towel. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and do this and let that other stuff dry for a while. But I am going to set my timer for 20 minutes. Phones these days, they do everything, don't they? So I got that going for 20 minutes. That's about how long it's supposed to take for this to dry. And then we'll test it and make sure it's dry. All right, so I'm going to go ahead with the Hello Spring. I'm going to paint it white. Okay, so there's our Hello Spring. So I'm going to set it off to the side and let it dry. We can make our little bow though. Okay, so at the bottom we're going to end up having a bow, which you've seen it in the picture. So it's just a little basic bow. I have so many ends because I have a couple cut. There we go. So I'll probably use part of this. So I just wanted to use a little bit of purple ribbon from the bottom. I don't want to make it too humongous, just small. So let me see. I do this bow a lot. It's a very simple bow where you just wrap it around. So let's see how many times. So we're going to start with the end, and we're going to put it about here so that our bow will be about this wide. And so we're going to just wrap it. So that's one loop all the way around. We're going to do another loop all the way around. 2 loops. And I want it to be where it has color, and because it's such a light, pretty ribbon, I think we will have to loop it a couple times to make it look color, like darker in color, because that way it has more layers and it gets a little darker. Okay, so we don't want to end the same spot we ended here. We want to end the opposite, so we're going to go around one more half to here, and then we're going to cut it off. And then I'm just going to throw that to the side. Okay, so now we're going to just pinch it in the middle. We're going to grab our wire cutters, cut a piece of wire. Nothing too huge, just enough where you can wrap it around the ribbon, like tightly wrap it around the ribbon so that it holds it in place. So, let's see. You can always cut the excess off also. So I just did it about that big. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap that around really tightly around my ribbon. And I'm trying to go as close to the middle as I can. You can just eye it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just close. And then just twist it tightly around. Then what you're going to do is go ahead and cut the excess wire off. You want to keep some of the twisted part because you don't want it to be too loose and fall apart on you. So we're going to just go, so you're leaving a little bit at the bottom. Okay, so then what you're going to do is just fluff your bow up a little bit. And you're going to, that little ends, sometimes they don't, you're going to have to twist it a little to fluff it because they want to fall right back into place. So just pull it out and twist each loop a little bit, just a tiny bit, just so that they're not laying right on top of each other. We're not making any big fancy bow. It's just to add a little color to the bottom of your sign. And then our little ends. I think I'm just going to cut them on a slant, each end. So when we're all done, this will be at the bottom of our sign. We're also going to have some flowers at the bottom of the sign. So these I got at the Dollar Tree for $1 a bunch. I have some that are already, because I used them on another craft, I have some that are already sitting over here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to, or my wire cutters, I'm going to go ahead and cut the big end off of them to where they're about that size. Okay. Same with this one. Do it about the same. And then I already had 2 little pieces and 1 little single one. So those are all cut and ready to go. So we'll just set those to the side. And then this was also in a bunch from the Dollar Tree. And so I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I just thought I'd stick it with all that stuff too. I'm going to go ahead and cut the big piece off of here and cut some off of the bottom. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little until our buzzer goes off, and then I'll be back. I thought I'd go ahead and go over and do a second coat on this white. It looks like it needs a second coat. Okay, we'll let that dry again. Okay, so I think we can come back to this and go ahead and do the next step. Some of it might still be a little wet, but by the time we do some of these other ones, maybe that will be dry. So now what we want to do is take our white paint, and we're going to paint the whole birdhouse, even the yellow part. We're going to paint everything white. So I'm going to just grab my little sponge paint, my little sponge, and go to town. So we're going to do the roof. If you want, you can start with your roof just to make sure all the other parts are completely dry, but I'm pretty sure on this yellow one, it's pretty well dry and ready to go. Okay, once everything is completely white, just set it to the side and we'll see what happens. Okay, so now we're going to do the green one. And again, go over everything, including the green. Okey-doke. And on to our last one, the purple one. So I'm going to go ahead and do this part now. All right, now we're going to let this dry again for a little bit, and I will be back. And we'll probably add a little bit of accents to these then. What we're going to do is just go around and put a little bit of the accent color around it to bring the color out. So let's start with the yellow. So I brought up a couple of paintbrushes. I have different sizes. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the one that's just a tiny bit bigger. I'm going to take my one that has the yellow. And I'm just going to go like around the inside of, well, like the inside of the little hole. I'm going to go do the yellow inside it. So what this will do is probably just bring a little bit of the yellow color out a little bit more. Okay, and then we're going to do this little stem, yellow, the little perch, I should call it. Okay, and then let's go around the rim right here, like the outer part of the roof, the little eaves like, or I don't really know what you'd call it, but it's the ends of the roof. And then we'll go around this bottom right here. Just do the little ridge all the way around. Oh my goodness, I forgot a side of the roof. I got to do white. So we'll go back and get that real quick too. So this just brings out the color a little bit more. So you see how just lightly outlining it brings out the color really pretty? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do the green one and the purple one. So now we're going to take this part and we're going to take our picture and our Mod Podge. And we're going to Mod Podge it to this background. So we're going to pour that on there. So I'm just going to put some Mod Podge on the back of this. I'm going to stick the picture and then I'm going to Mod Podge over the top. I know that usually makes it kind of shiny, so I'm thinking about that part still. All right, so let's stick our picture on. So I noticed that there's a little bit of like a missing little spot here, like a rough spot. So I'm going to put that at the bottom because when we put our birdhouses on, it will hide that then. Okay. And I have my little scraper. Mine is a Pampered Chef scraper. I also have one from Cricut. You can use whatever you have to try to even this out. Or now it looks like it's going to be a little wavy on me. I'm going to go ahead and grab my X-Acto knife real quick. This baby comes in really handy. I believe it's called an X-Acto knife, but it's like a razor blade. And what that can do, now that I have this pushed on here, I'm going to push it all the way to the edge. And then I'm just going to use my knife to cut it. And then we'll just pull this piece off. Okay. And my paper did kind of get a little wrinkly. But because everything's weathered on this, it should look kind of cute anyway. Okay, so I am going to go over the top with my Mod Podge. Okay, the next thing I think we'll outline our frame. You know how we did the frame yellow and then we put the white over it? We're going to do like we did the house there and go ahead and go around the frame a little bit. Why won't this go on? There we go. So we're going to need a little more yellow. I got to rinse my brush again. I'm going to warm up my glue gun so it can be warming up. We're going to need this right here. Okie dokie. So let's grab our yellow. I'll go ahead and try to get a little out of there. Okay, so what we're going to do is just try to kind of go along the edge just a little. So as you can see, it's not perfect how I'm painting it. I'm just trying to bring that yellow out. And we're going to do it all the way around to the outside. Okay, so now the next decision is whether to leave this white. Now I feel like the sign turned out to be pretty darn white. So I'm thinking this would be cute with some yellow. Okay, so it really did wrinkle up on me a lot, but I think it's going to look really cute that way, honestly. Okay, so our yellow spring has to dry for a minute. Go ahead and put on our little houses. I think I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to put hot glue along all of these ridges. But then you're also going to try to put a little bit of wood glue to make sure that it holds. Okay. I'm going to dump some wood glue in here. My wood glue is thick. I don't know if it's always like this. That's crazy. Okay. If we put our purple one on first, we'll be good. So I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to put some hot glue along here and along the top. And that holds it in place while the wood glue dries, because we also want to put some wood glue on it. So in between those little dots, I'm going to put wood glue. And then I'm going to pop it on here. Okay, one. And then we're going to do the yellow one. Oh, you know what? We'll do the green one. Okay, so same thing. Hot glue. Just do like a bunch of points of hot glue all the way around. Hot glue it. Chins come in handy sometimes. Okay. And just make sure that one's pushed down. Okay, so do the same thing with this one. A little bit of wood glue in between. You want to do it fast because your hot glue will be drying. You don't want it to dry before you stick it on here. All right, stick that one on. Now if you have spots that look like they could be kind of messy, let's get those off right away and then push it back down. This one, push it right back down. I think I shouldn't have lifted up on this one. I'm going to have to redo the hot glue on this one. And then the yellow one. Okay. way down. Just to the middle. All right. So here's what we have so far. And now we're going to go ahead and that bow and those flowers that we looked at earlier, we're going to take those and put those on. So first we're going to take the two bigger pieces of flowers. And we're going to use our hot glue gun. We're just going to glue it close to the edge, maybe not all the way to the edge. Yeah. We'll go ahead and go to the edge. So. Push down on that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to take the next two biggest ones. They each have like 2 flowers on them each. And we're going to come down a little farther with those. I'm just using my little scraper to hold it in place while it's, because I always forget to bring up those little things you get from the Dollar Tree that you can put on your fingers to protect you from your hot glue, from it burning you. I'm just putting a little tack up here to hold the one flowers kind of in place. Now we're going to do these down a little further. So now we're going to use our little bow. Remember, we're going to fluff it up, make sure it's kind of cute and fluffed a little bit. Pull it out a little bit. Keeps wanting to go back together on me. Okay. We're going to just glue this to the bottom here. And then this one little single flower, I'm going to just put it in the middle of the bow. And then I'm going to show you guys what I did. Go ahead and cut it farther down. Get in there. So here's what we have so far, but now we need to add our happy spring on here too. So we're just going to turn the Hello Spring over. We're going to stick another glue stick in here. We're going to go, I'm going to go along the E and the L's. Wherever I think it's going to touch, that's where I'm going to put glue. Okay, so now we're going to flip it over and we're going to place it where we want it. And push down. Okay, so this is our finished craft. I hope you guys enjoyed making it. I thought it would be cute because it looks like it's popping out of the picture. It's a good thing to hang on your door. You can hang it on your wall or you can set it on the counter. I hope you had a good time. I had a wonderful time. If you did, please like and comment. It helps me a lot if you like and comment on YouTube because it helps with the algorithm. It makes it so that YouTube notices me and hopefully will push my videos out a little farther to more and more people so that I can keep coming back. So I appreciate you all. You don't know how much. And I wish maybe one of these days I will do a live video with you guys. I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest. So we'll see. But thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great night. See you next time. Bye.